Hey folks, this is Waylon, finally coming on live, and it's kind of a cold or cool October beautiful day. Almost all the beautiful leaves are gone now because we've had huge winds, and today I wanted to talk about, I actually wanted to talk about climate change, and I just researched, even though I know a decent amount about it, I've reported on it over the years. We just had the hottest September in recorded history. And if you look at all the facts, it gets pretty scary, especially given that Marco Rubio and folks like him, Marco, running for senator in Florida, is still a climate change denier, even though they're going through increased flooding and such. It's kind of amazing our capacity to deny stuff that isn't convenient to our job or our supporters. But I'm not going to talk about that, because I feel like nobody really cares, which is fundamentally the problem. So I'm going to talk about being eco-responsible in a fun way, in a context that we actually care about, which is weddings. Almost every one of us cares about weddings. I just went to one on Sunday, and it was the joining, the union, the coming together of two of my favorite humans and best friends, and I think they're both vegan. They're at least veganish. One of them is definitely vegan, and the wedding was at this beautiful farm where they have goats and llamas and a big garden and huge gardens, and it was beneath this huge old cottonwood, which is a native tree with golden leaves falling, and the golden autumn Colorado sunshine. And every little detail they thought of was pretty eco-responsible. A running joke at the wedding was that we would take a shot for every time someone said the word eco. So I just wanted to go through a couple of those details that I really found inspiring, and I thought that others could possibly include in their weddings. And they're not all eco. Probably the most profound moment, having to look at my hair every morning and then getting comments about my hair, it's bad stuff. I should wear a hat. I'll wear a banana peel. All right, so the most profound moment of the wedding was the most important moment of the wedding, which was the vows. The vows were incredibly funny. They were almost like a comedy bit, but at the same time, both of them were crying, and it was so touching and so human, and it was really about this deep and affectionate and passionate friendship that they had for one another. And I think that was probably the most powerful moment that I could pass along, that people really take care to write incredibly human vows, meaning a lot of vows take on this lofty language of weddings, like till death do you part, all this stuff, and that's great, but these vows were incredibly personal, and we just got to witness it as their community, as their friends, as their family, and thank you, Edna. And so I think that's just a good reminder from a journalist, from a writer's point of view. I just wrote a book about love, things I would like to do with you. Love is one of the hardest things to express because it's so easy to fall into cliche. So it's probably incredibly important in that sense. Let me just get this laptop up higher to make sure that you're not communicating in cliche. Alrighty, we're now set up. This is Facebook Live. We used to do videos with 4 cameras, super cool, beautifully edited. You can see them on youtube.com/elephantjournal. Now we do videos with my phone falling over and me messing with my hair. And that's Facebook Live. But the cool thing is, like yesterday, we got to talk about Amendment 71, which is kind of a boring thing on the surface in Colorado. And we had, I think, close to 50,000 people were watching live. And it's basically a takeover by the oil and gas industry they're sick of getting challenged by environmentalists in Colorado. So they thought of this genius idea, which was a ballot to get people to vote, to take away their own right to create ballots. It's kind of genius. So it's basically like, this democracy stuff is kind of bad for our bottom line, so let's get rid of the democracy stuff. You got to hand it to oil and gas. They don't give up. So if you want to see that video, that's I recorded that yesterday. And what's interesting is if they succeed here, they'll be like, oh, this is genius. Let's do it all over the country. So it'll come to your state before long. Yeah, so you can see that link, youtube.com/elephantjournal, but that's not the subscribe link. Chelsea, if you can put the actual subscribe link in there, that would be great. I'm using lip balm from Blair. Blair is one of those countless awesome, mindful, beautiful entrepreneurs that you'll find at your local farmer's market. I'm such a fan of her. She makes like Epsom salts with, I don't know what, essential oils, botanicals harvested seasonally, sustainably, and lovingly from Blair's backyard. Made with lavender, rose, rosemary, calendula, and organic olive and jojoba oils, beeswax, peppermint, and spearmint essential oils, vitamin E, and love. Good stuff. All right, let's focus. So the first thing about a mindful wedding is the vows. Try and make them really human, really personal, really friendly. Not just this lofty, kind of beautiful thing out of a rom-com, but really intimate. They don't have to be, the vows they shared were kind of embarrassing. They were, not embarrassing in a bad way, but they were just vulnerable. And that's such a powerful thing to witness. I mean, that's really what the whole rigmarole, all the money you're spending on a wedding, that's what it's all about, is your community, friends, and family bothering to take time out of their day and night to come and celebrate and witness the love of two people. And when you see two good people join, we've all been to weddings where we're like, I don't know about this. I wish them the best, but, can't say that I totally support this or feel good about it. But when you go to a wedding like this one, where you see two fundamentally decent, caring, funny, weird, wonderful human beings come together in friendship and in love, it does feel like, for all the challenges in the world, climate change, wars, Donald Trump, widespread sexual assault, whatever your list is of complaints, Hillary Clinton could be on your list, that something is okay with the world still, when two good people can come together and walk a path of being a benefit to the world together and raise children together, do whatever they care to do together. Something is still wholesome and good about this world. So it's really cheerful and heartening. So that was number one. Number two was, I think the entire wedding was vegan. And when you hear oh no, it wasn't vegan. There was cheese pizza, but maybe it was vegetarian. I had a vegan pizza. But when you go to a wedding and you think vegetarian or you think vegan, you think, wow, the families are going to hate that. That's not going to go over. This is some hippie crazy thing. But the food was amazing. Pizza from this local pizza company. You can see photos of the wedding if you care to, including one of me with a dog, one of their dogs, at the hashtag JM4EVA, Eva, JM4Eva. Or you can just look on Instagram.com/Waylon Lewis for a couple of them. So that was number two, is that the food was locally sourced and vegan or vegetarian. And while most of you, I'm sure, are not vegan or vegetarian, it's kind of a cool opportunity to share what you're passionate about with your family. So instead of trying to just appeal to your family and your friends and your community, you can kind of share with them what you're passionate about. And this day is really about the coming together of two people and about them and their love. So, when I'm going to a wedding, I want to I want to see as much character. I want to see what they love. I want to jump into their kind of world and culture for a day. So I don't see that as an imposition. I had an amazing pizza, and then they had locally sourced gelato. This might sound like a Portlandia episode at this point, but let's remember that locally sourced just means you're supporting local farmers. So that's a great thing if you're a Republican. Nothing more American than a farmer. Or if you're a Democrat, nothing more progressive or eco than supporting local food. And this gelato is out of control. I had salted caramel, I had watermelon and basil, I had their deep, dark, amazing chocolate. It's crazy good. And then what were the others? So there was microbrews, local beer companies. They're everywhere in Boulder. In Colorado, we had some great local beer. I didn't drink the wine, so I don't remember about the wine. And what were the other eco aspects? Oh, or mindful aspects. So one of the cool ones was we were all given these little pennants, these white flags, like a pennant. We were all given these white flags, and we were asked to hold those or wave them during the ceremony and the vows instead of taking photos. So there were no photos from our cameras during the vows, so that we could just be present and appreciate the moment instead of kind of seeing the wedding through, taking photos of it and trying to Instagram it or whatever. That's so rare in this life that we will look at a flower or look at a sunset or look at the mountains or look at a cute dog or look at a cute kid or look at a beautiful meal or a beautiful house without needing now to take a photo for it. I mean, we're basically a whole nation where we're working for Instagram at this point. You're welcome, Mark Zuckerberg. So I enjoyed that. And then all the photos, they had professional photographers there. The photos that the photographers took weren't of 20 or 80 people taking photos. They were people enjoying them and being present for this kind of sacred union. Righty. Oh, the stream keeps freezing. I'm sorry to hear that. And if you have any questions or comments on a mindful wedding, and if you feel like supporting this video, I see that this one is strangely low, maybe because it's freezing. If you like it or love it or share it, it'll get bigger, and we can share mindful wedding tips beyond the choir. Because we've all been to tons of weddings where, frankly, a fair amount of weddings have a fair amount of drug use going on. Maybe the coming together of the people isn't ideal. There's a ton of money spent. There's a ton of trash produced. There's a ton of food wasted. There's a ton of pressure. People want everything to be perfect, so everyone's yelling at each other. We've all been to these kind of bridezilla weddings, and I'm not criticizing just the bride, the whole weddingzilla, groomzilla. And so when we go to a good one that can be very simple, or it can be like this one, pretty big and elaborate, and we see that it's kind of mindful and thoughtful in the details, it's inspiring, and let's share that, because otherwise, what's the point of getting married? We might as well just have a barbecue for our friends, which is great. If you're gonna get married and have a big wedding, might as well do it in a beautiful, inspiring, and meaningful way. It is a rare chance. I think the best reason for a wedding on some level is a rare chance to bring together all of your friends from your whole life and have them all connect and hang out. All right, so if any of you feel like sharing this or liking it, or a weird emoticon, I'm seeing a ton of likes, so thank you. And if you have any comments, or if you're just tuning in, say where you're from. And it's always cool to see where the community is from. All right, I'll go through some comments and questions if you got anything. So Chelsea, is our editor on duty. We have a bunch of blogs on eco weddings. If you just search for a bunch of wedding links, eco wedding, mindful wedding, you could put that in the comments to be resources. And did you find the YouTube subscription link? The exact link. All righty. Carolyn, Fiddler, we gave tree saplings as our wedding gift and wrote a note, "We hope our love grows with these trees." Wow, I love that. We didn't want to give some trinket. We then donated the leftover trees to the city. So many guests have told us how the trees have grown in their yards, gift that keeps on giving. Yeah, and nothing's better than planting a tree right now. I just was reading this morning how millions of trees are dying across the U.S. Here in the mountains, we've lost millions of trees just in the Rockies from the pine beetle, which has expanded because of global warming. Now the pine beetle doesn't freeze in the winter. It just can expand and expand and expand and kill all the trees. Now we're losing the elm and the ash to other issues. And I just tweeted about this. If you follow twitter.com/elephantjournal, I put in a link that these millions of trees, the fundamental cause of all of them is climate change, and it explains how. It's kind of fascinating if you care about trees. So good on you. There's the link to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can see me read from my book, Things I Would Like to Do With You, or interview amazing people like Andrew Weil, or Deepak Chopra, or Michael Pollan, or Ariana Huffington, or whoever else I can't think of, Bill McKibben. I just connected with Shailene Woodley, who is a well-known actress, young actress, and she's been super active in the North Dakota pipeline activism, and hopefully we'll get to feature her and that important cause on our channel very soon. So subscribe if you want to get that. And it's free. It's free. Sheila, I recently read about Repeat Roses, an organization that repurposes and reuses wedding and other occasion flowers and distributes them to seniors. I love this. Disabled children, the elderly in nursing homes, hospitals, and memory care centers for people with Alzheimer's, etc. Hey, Sheila, if you can copy paste that and send that to elephantjournal.com/submit, we could create an article on that. That is wonderful, and I'm giving you a like. Everyone give Sheila a like. As just supporting that awesome thing. Just give her some love if you feel like it, if you feel so inspired. If you don't, that's your right. You can be uptight with your likes. Here's another mindful tip. So I just went to a wedding party of my dear friends Bob and Dave Rogers, and they bought like a pack of 100 glass straws. So instead of going through all these plastic straws for all the cocktails, which were served in mason jars and other random glasses and stuff that they bought at Salvation Armies and Goodwills and the like. They bought a ton of glass straws, which are super cool and kind of elegant and beautiful. And then all the guests could take the straws home with them. So that's a cute little thing to do. Dum, 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 bum, 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 bum. She's a lady. Talking about she's a lady. Woo, 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 she's a lady. All right, sorry about that. I apologize. Edna, they obviously love each other to be vulnerable in front of everyone. It's true love and what weddings are supposed to be about. Exactly, Edna. Yeah, I mean, seeing my friend Johnny cry because he cares so much about Megan and just loves the heck out of her and is so grateful to be marrying her and to have found her is incredibly touching. I mean, you know, not everyone is that lucky. It's an incredibly touching thing. All right. It's a precious thing worth appreciating, and to witness it is to be reminded of the preciousness of love and the beauty and the wonderfulness that weddings can and love can include. So, Sheila, the idea is that the first investment yeah, I love that. Sheila, just copy paste, send all that stuff about donating the Stephen Harper. Not a fan of Stephen Harper. All right. Yeah, Justin Trudeau. Everyone loves Justin right now. Akam, do these vows witnessed by family and friends increase any willpower to be a better partner? Akam, beautiful question. Yeah, I think on some level they commit to the kind of love, the kind of path they want to walk together. So it's not just, I think you're great and you're hot and I like you and I have a lot of hormones that say that I love you. It's really saying this is the kind of friendship, partnership. These are the kind of parents we want to be in the future if we want to have children. This is the kind of love we want to cultivate. This is the kind of appreciation we want to maintain for one another. She's a lady. All right, where is everyone from? I'm only seeing a few comments. Detroit, Vancouver, Pennsylvania. Artesia in New Mexico, Maine. Woo, woo, woo. Grosse Pointe, Michigan. Now living in Homer, Alaska. Homer, Alaska sounds like the coolest place to live. Homer would be a cool name for a kid. New York. Jill, our wedding was fairly simple. We had it in a one-stop shop location that did the food for us. We kept cookie cutters. We gave cookie cutters for favors and kept it simple. I bought a lot of my decor on Craigslist and then sold it again all afterward on Craigslist. I mean, that's great. You don't have to keep this stuff forever and be a hoarder. You can pass it on. So my friend who bought all these mason jars and these glass straws, he like has a kit, a big party wedding kit now that he wants to like share with other people. I love that idea. It basically, basically made your linens and centerpieces free. I love that, Jill. We're adding that to the official Mindful. And the cool thing about Mindful and Eco is it often can be far more affordable, not more expensive. Sheila from Sonoma County, I'm jealous of you. Carissa from Fairhope, another cool name. Rodney, big versus small weddings. Well, if you have tons of friends and community people and people who care about you, probably having a big wedding makes sense. I'm kind of a big wedding kind of person. The downside is I don't really have anyone who likes me or cares about me. I have lots of internet friends, but in person, you know, like when I have a birthday party, it's like heavy lifting to get 60 people to show up. So I have no idea how you would possibly have 100 people fly out to your wedding. I don't really have much of a family. So for me, I probably would do a pretty modest wedding. And that wouldn't be a poor me kind of violin thing. It would be just a little more intimate, but hopefully super fun too. So I think it's really just personal, Rodney. I think a lot of people want a super small kind of casual thing and they don't want to spend $100,000 on their wedding. And some people do. They want the 4-tiered white wedding cake and, you know, the veil and all the kind of beautiful traditions that weddings have. And I get it. I think either is great. So there's a Plan a Wedding That Gives Back link from 4 easy ways to plan a wedding that gives back from Chelsea in the comments for anyone who wants to check that out. Riding off on a tandem bike would be rather symbolic for a wedding. Joy likes tree huggers. Edna's friends did the tandem bike ride. Rodney, when do you know is the right time to get married? That's a great question. I wonder what people's thoughts are on that. I wouldn't know because I've never met anyone I wanted to marry. I mean, that's not true. I wanted to marry one of my ex-girlfriends badly, but she kept saying, she would like pat my head and say, you need to grow up more. You're not ready. You don't know what you don't want to marry me. And she turned out to be right. She was a great lady, but I just wasn't ready. All right, there's another great link, eco-friendly wedding traditions. If anyone appreciates the work Chelsea is doing, putting all these comments in, give her a like or a love if you feel like it. Scott Schwartz, stop worrying about impressing others ×3. I think that's a good comment for me, but you might be commenting about weddings. So yeah, I do think the wedding shouldn't be about impressing others. It should just be about your love. And I think that's a good attitude. Just keep it about what are we trying to honor and celebrate and kind of vow today. It shouldn't be so much like, let's impress everyone who's coming. Righty. Lots of cool comments. I'm not planning on getting married soon. I do want to have children, so I guess I have to get married at some point. But I love being a bachelor. I love dating, and I love working, and I love being alone. So right now it's pretty good. But I think at some point it just naturally happens, or obviously it doesn't. And if it does, I will be quite grateful. D in Woodstock, Vermont. Jade in New York. Louisiana for Charlotte. Kansas for Amber. Seattle, Terry. Wichita, Amy. California, Susie. Shweta Chaturvedi. Good morning to you. What's written on the sign in the window? Oh, this says speakeasy sign from a talk that I gave at Wanderlust Festival. That's actually on our YouTube channel, or maybe it's on the Wanderlust channel. It was called Something about how yoga is not a cult, or it's not a club, or it's not a clique. True yoga is not a club. Something about that. I used to talk about yoga stuff. Then I got kicked out of the club for being a bad clique member. Edna, after the response from all my posts from yesterday's video, being in South Carolina, it's going to be fun to get the ones regarding this because the typical weddings here are huge and the bride and groom don't even end up having fun. I think that's half the thing. I've hosted so many parties over the years, and when I was young and would be happy to trash my apartment and kind of get drunk, they could be fun. But for the last 10 years or so, they haven't been that fun. Everyone has fun at my parties except for me, because I'm sort of the host and I'm working to make sure everything's fine and things don't get broken and people are, doing the dishes at the end of the night or the next morning. So really just focus on actually enjoying your wedding day and your vows and really focus on kind of making the wedding something that you care about. Annalie from Italy. Yeah, Robin also has the bark beetle issue, losing our trees. Susie on the beach. Yeah, lots of people want the beach wedding. I don't. I want more of a formal, big old, beautiful, old-fashioned-y wedding, but with sweet vows and super eco. That's kind of what I want. And I probably want a huge wedding. Gretchen, last night our daughter and her husband were married. Wow. And this morning, wow. And you just happened on this live feed. Such a tender, genuine vow exchange at your daughter and husband's wedding. What wonderful time to have siblings participate remotely from Chicago and Argentina via Facebook Live as a private family group. So people tuned in through Facebook Live into the wedding. I love that. That's using technology for connection, which is fundamentally what it should be about. Oh, Sheila, I want to hear you sing that. That you're now singing the best part of waking up is Waylon in your cup. Yeah, I need coffee. I went out and got coffee with Redford earlier, but... All right. Teresa, I would say that you know when you're ready to get married or make some kind of commitment, when you can't imagine life without that person. I think that's always my problem, is I date, if I'm lucky, I date a wonderful human being. We're really good friends. It's a great relationship. And then I get to 7 or 8 months and I want to be single again. I love dating. I love being alone. And I think that's partly why I wrote that book, Things I Would Like to Do with You. What kind of relationship, what kind of commitment can have space for loneliness and space for change and space for independence and space for creativity, instead of just being glomming onto each other in this sort of claustrophobic love that either works or it doesn't. I just was watching Divorce last night, which is this show with... what's her name? Who is Sex and the City lady? Sarah Jessica Parker. And it's kind of cool. It's almost like Sex and the City 10, 15 years later. Seeing her in this difficult relationship, difficult marriage. She has children. And just showing how this love, you can love someone and have a life with someone and friendship with someone. And then it can just become like a cage. And both people can be unhappy, even though fundamentally beneath all of it, they care about each other, obviously. So that's the question I explore in my book, is you can love each other and have friendship for each other, but then 10 years later, 20 years later, what is going to make that relationship work? Carly, we did both. Church, 110 people, white dress, lots of food. 10 years later, we renewed our vows on the beach. 6 guests, no shoes. I love that. Carly, comment of the day. And that's fitting because it's the last comment of the day. So if you guys have any final questions or comments, hit me. Because otherwise, let's meditate for 2 minutes and get out of here and get on with our day. So if you have any comments or questions, I'll hold on. If you want to leave now and not meditate, just give it a like or a share. That's super helpful. And check out some of Chelsea's links to Mindful Weddings and share that with some friends if you feel like it. If you join our newsletter, I always have to say that's the #1 way to keep Elephant alive. elephantjournal.com/best. All right, here's a comment from Brittany. I'm waiting until after I'm married to have children, and I'm actually been looking on Pinterest at wedding DIYs, and I'd have to say I'd love to have a vintage wedding. I'm 22 from Brilliant, Ohio, and love your page. Thank you, Brittany. What's a vintage wedding? Is it where like everything is vintage, or is it just vintage style? I think if everything were actually vintage, not only is that the most eco thing you could ever do, but it's probably cheaper and there's more character and it's more fun creating that. I love that idea, vintage wedding. Love it. Get thee to Pinterest. Winona, I dove in for the third time a few weeks ago, and part of the honeymoon was going to my niece's wedding on the beach in the Outer Banks. Third time is a charm. Wasn't wanting to even date. I was ready to enjoy alone time, but he happened. We had 30 guests, closest friends and family. Well, congratulations to you, Winona, and good luck. With your new best friend and lover. I think fundamentally that's sort of what I explored in the book, Things, is that it really is, as it's kind of an obvious conclusion, but from a Buddhist point of view, it's really about partnership or friendship, best friendship. That's something, with my best friends who are guys, I have no question that we're going to be best friends in 5 or 10 or 20 years. And if we're not, that's fine, but we probably will be. There's no question that our friendship would be there. Maybe they would move, maybe I would move, maybe we wouldn't be in each other's lives. But if you take that same attitude that's just about best friendship and you apply it to your love, well then your love becomes relatively unconditional. You can add, of course, with an intimate partner, attraction and passion and love to that best friendship. But fundamentally it's about friendship and walking a path together of service. Alrighty, if that's it, let's all meditate. If you'd like to meditate, I grew up in the Buddhist tradition. Meditation is a super helpful way to just be present for your life and in your life. So take a great posture. You can kind of move your sitting bones around so that they're relaxed and you're well grounded in a balanced way. Then you can take your shoulders up, back, down, and then relax them. Eyes open in this particular practice. Let's breathe in and out, which is something we're all quite good at, I hope. You can be looking down a little bit, relaxed neck, relaxed mouth, relaxed eyes, relaxed gaze. The eyes are open because we're not trying to close or shut anything out. Okay, so the meditation part is when you find yourself thinking, not if, when. If you lose your mind, simply come back. When you find yourself thinking, just label it. I'm thinking about this video, thinking about not that many people watching today. I'm wondering why. I'm thinking about lunch, I'm thinking about work, I'm thinking about the beautiful day, I'm thinking about how my hands are cold. Thinking. Come back to your breath, gently. Basically, you just continue that until you're fully grounded and present in your breath. And that's it. At the end, you can raise your gaze and to yourself and to your world, and in this case to one another. We can bow with respect and friendship, a sense of good cheer. And basically you say, may we be of benefit. May this meditation have been a benefit to the world. So you don't keep any merit that you've just created. You give it away. And in that way, you get more merit. You keep the merit flowing. Don't try to cling to good karma. So give it away. So if you enjoyed this video, as many of you are doing right now, please give it a like or a love. That helps it get through the mean old Facebook algorithm and open up and reach beyond the choir to all those who might give a care. So thank you so much. Justin, yeah, if you go to elephantjournal.com and you search wedding or marriage, you'll find a ton of, I would search wedding. You'll find a ton of blogs about mindful or eco wedding tips. And we have a bunch of good tips here, and we'll be creating a blog out of this that will be on Elephant Journal. All these videos go onto the front page of Elephant under Walk the Talk Show. So if any of you guys are ever looking for these, you can either subscribe to YouTube, which is in the links here, and or you can get it on our homepage under Walk the Talk Show. Does that make sense? All right, here's a good comment from Edna to wrap things up. I think marriage is about who you can actually work through the crazy things life throws at you, and who would you like to sit around with when you're old and still makes you laugh and love all of their flaws. Amen to that. Well said. Edna, I think you have to start writing for Relephant. Alrighty, thanks so much. There's a whole bunch of thank yous. You're all very sweet. Yes, these streams immediately go up on youtube.com/elephantjournal. The subscribe link is up above here. And they also stay on Facebook. And then they also go to the Walk the Talk Show section, Rodney, on the front page, elephantjournal.com. Yeah, please subscribe to Elephant Journal from Justin. Thank you so much. And best purchase I've made this year, Justin says, skip Starbucks for 2 days and get with it. Feed your mind and soul. Yeah, it's about $1 a month. So it's not too expensive. Thank you. Thanks for quoting me on that, Brittany. There's a quote for Lindsay. Yeah, so Jill, these streams are recorded. They go to the YouTube link. So just click the YouTube subscribe link. Or Chelsea, can you put it in again right here at the bottom for people who want to subscribe. Yeah, and we do these every day, and typically we get between 30 and 50,000 people on the videos, which is very exciting. Finally, I'm going to do one shout out for our sponsor. I forgot to do this. I'm just doing extra shout outs for them because I want to support them. So anyone who does yoga, 90% of yoga mats are toxic PVC. They're toxic in their creation. They're toxic in the landfill, and they're not good for us, our children, or our pets. So instead of PVC, get a rubber yoga mat. Rubber comes out of trees that are sustainably worked with. And Jade Yoga, speaking of trees, Jade Yoga, which our video sponsor, plants a tree with every purchase. So that link, Chelsea, if you can put it in real quick, is the link will get you free shipping, so you'll save about 10%. So if you use Elephant as the code in all caps on Jade Yoga, for your purchase you get free shipping, which will save you at least $10, I would think. Yeah, Edna K is $19 for 1 year if you don't want to renew, but it's actually only $14 a year if you want to just do it kind of open-ended indefinitely, and then you can cancel if you hate us. So it's actually just about $1 a month. Or yeah, you can do the $19 just 1 year one. Justin, thank you, Waylon and Elephant. Adds so much value to my days and life. I'm so encouraged to share this with family and friends. Thank you. And Jade Yoga mats are amazingly awesome, super grippy, and changes the whole practice. Whoa. Chelsea, I think you're a little confused there. Jade Yoga, that's a subscription link to my YouTube channel. I think Jade Yoga, just put in the offer from Jade Yoga. Can you do that before people hang up? That should be in the talk show chat. If you just search Jade, you'll find it. Bess or Lindsay, if anyone are on, if you can get that link in there, pronto-missimo. And in the meantime, I will sing the immortal classic from Tom Jones. No, that's the link to their website. You got to link to their exact offer with the code. Chelsea, no pressure. Everyone give Chelsea some love and a like, because right now she's probably freaking out looking for the Jade link because she's messing it all up and she's brand new, and that's very intense. So give her some love. And she's not messing it all up. We'll stick around for 1 second until you get that offer in there with the discount, with the code, with the link to Jade Yoga, our kind and eco sponsor, rubber, and they plant a tree with every purchase. Come on, Chelsea, you got it. Where's Lindsay? Where's Bess? Da-da-da-da-dee, da-da-da-da-da-da, she's a lady. All right, anyone say one mindful comment about what you love about autumn, or what was the most mindful moment of your last 24 hours? The most mindful moment of my last 24 hours was simply just taking the time to look at the trees and all the colors and the wind and the mountains, and letting my dog smell all the leaves and, be a dog instead of being in a rush when I had to get to work. So just slowing down and appreciating the season, this time. Chelsea, I'm not seeing that link. You got to link to the actual offer. Is Bess or Lindsay here? Can anyone help? You got to link to the offer. Search Jade, like I already said, in the chat under talk show. You got to link to their offer with the elephant code and what the offer is. It's not done. Jill feels like in autumn people start to get back to routines and schedules, and suddenly it's easier to find time to connect with our friends. I love that. Carly, crunching leaves under your shoes. Falling leaves are just the best. They're so bright. Letting things go in the wind. Edna, my meditation this morning stopped your brain. Well, we're not trying to stop thoughts, remember. We're just trying to be aware. We're trying to bring awareness in, not necessarily... It's okay to think. We just don't want to be mindlessly caught up. Chelsea, this is taking way too long. A calm. The most beautiful thing about autumn is seeing earth embrace the leaves after a long time waiting and staring at each other. Beautiful, man. Yeah, that's like a poem that you just wrote. All right, I think we're going to have to sing Tom Jones. I really don't know the whole song. All right, there it is. Here's the offer. Jade Yoga. They plant a tree with every mat sold and have no PVC like most mats. For free shipping, go to Jade Yoga. Use code ELEPHANT. You did it. That should take about 5 seconds. You search Jade, you find it, you copy paste, you put it in. But we hung out and we all made the best of it. So, Chelsea, deep breaths, and you got through it. And everyone, thanks for supporting Chelsea. And thanks for sticking around. I'm amazed that just as many people are still here. So you're very sweet with your time. And that was very generous of you guys. It was very mindful and patient. Developing patience is the direct opposite of multitasking, speediness, and stress and frustration. So your own patience is good for your own heart. So thank you. Chelsea, you got to be quicker.